Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with one of my favorite people and friends in the hobby, Justin 610 Sports Cards. Welcome to the channel and thank you for joining.
Of course, man. Great to be back here. Back. Yeah, this is a repeat, right?
Yeah, it's a repeat.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, just making sure.
I think, Justin, the last time you were on my channel, I had never been to a national, and it was pre-Atlantic City, Justin. It was pre-Atlantic City, and I was like, let's get Justin on here because you love to talk about the national. You've been to a zillion in a row. I've never been, and so I played dumb, which was not hard, and then you just kind of told everybody what to look out for and how to prep for it. It was a good show.
And Atlantic City was your first one, and you still decided to go back. So that's good for you. I'm glad we're here 2 years later, and you're not like, I'm not doing that ever again because Atlantic City sucks.
Hey, listen, not just that. Apparently, I stayed in the hotel where everybody was like, there were mice in my bed, and there was like, people waiting for you in the elevator, and it was creepy as hell.
Yeah.
I had a blast, man. I thought it was awesome. All I was there for was like card show, hotel, card show, hotel. I don't party quite as much as most people, so I was kind of flying solo, but Chicago was better. I will say that. But I had a blast in Atlantic City too, and didn't get mugged or robbed or anything.
That's a big get right there. Yeah, and I think everybody tried to keep it to card show, hotel. Card show, hotel is just unfortunately that middle ground between the card show and the hotel.
I was the dumb guy walking too. I walked every day with I probably shouldn't have because of what I had in my Zion case at that particular show, but I got through it all right. And then Chicago was a blast too. So I'm looking forward to this one coming up for sure. How's Cleveland? You've been to one in Cleveland?
Yeah, it's good. It's not like Chicago. There's not nearly as much stuff that's really convenient to the convention center, the IX Center. The IX is about 10 minutes from Cleveland, 15 minutes, but most people just stay in downtown Cleveland. Like you're driving against traffic every day on the way there and back. It's super easy. And then, but people bang on Cleveland for various reasons, but like Cleveland during the summer, it's nice. I mean, there's a lot of great restaurants and bars, and there's a casino downtown that a lot of times I don't want to call them their old name. What's the new name of the Cleveland baseball team? I don't know. Anyway, the Cleveland-based professional baseball Guardians. There you go.
Guardians, yeah. I was thinking Warriors. I'm like, I don't know. They keep changing all the.
I know, but sometimes if the Guardians have a home stand, a bunch of people go to games, so it's cool. Cleveland's cool.
All right, we've rambled. You're on the show because you're going to help us, and we're going to talk through essentially collecting Michael Jordan autograph cards for dummies, and then maybe even just 90s autograph cards for dummies like me, because I don't collect autos. But a lot of people that watch my channel are always commenting, hey, why don't you talk about that card? Why didn't you include, the Jordan game jersey autograph in your hierarchy? And then I have to tell them, well, I don't know anything about autograph cards. And so that's where you come in. But before we get there, kind of give people, the 2-minute rundown of your background in the hobby, how you fit in, what your purpose is, where you are, and kind of just your origin story, the quick version, right? Because you've done this 1,000 times. So I don't want to bore everybody.
No, for sure. So, I did this. I grew up during the junk wax era. Got out of cards, high school, which is unfortunately when the late '90s boom with the inserts and refractors and stuff actually started to matter and be valuable. I missed that. I got back into it in college for a little bit, just with a buddy of mine, just help pay for beer money, pizza money, something to do. Got out of it a little bit after I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina for my first professional-ish job out of college. Mm-hmm. And then starting around 2010, I had just a couple cards that were still in my safe that I hadn't forgotten about. I just hadn't picked them up and played with them in a while. And I hopped back on eBay and I was like, oh, okay, these are worth money now. So I've probably been doing this pretty steady for 11 or 12 years, but within the past 3 years I've been doing it full time. So I quit my consulting job 3 years ago and have been doing the card thing full time. I pretty much stick to just Jordan, Kobe, LeBron stuff. I don't really I'm more of a college football fan than NFL, so NFL is not really interesting to me. I can't stand baseball, so I just don't care about baseball. Yep. Pretty much stay in those lanes. I mean, I've obviously had to diversify a little bit since I'm still pretty snobby about the kinds of stuff I buy and condition and quality and all of that. But we branched out into non-big three players, so it's been fun. I mean, it's been pretty much 50 years of market cycles jammed into about the past 36 months of me doing this full time, which is why we're starting to see a lot more gray streaks in here than we might have a year or two ago. But it's fun. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's still a lot of fun, and I do think the industry, the hobby in general, at least right now, is on a lot better footing,
Yeah.
or probably the best footing it's been on in, again, 24 to 30 months or so.
I feel like we took a punch straight into the nuts and have actually
Yeah.
recovered pretty damn well, man. There was
Yeah.
a cleansing of a certain type of people in the hobby, and I don't mean to sound negative or pessimistic, but there was a lot of people that didn't want to really do this for very long. They were just trying to get in and get out, get straight in, straight out. It was just like the crypto people, just like the sneaker people, just like they just jumped into this and then disappeared. And I think we've rebounded better, man. I'm having a blast in the hobby. I'm really enjoying the last, maybe 2 years, although they've started to run a little bit. I've been able to buy some of the Jordan stuff that I really care about and that I really like for reasonable prices. Some of these cards where I thought that ship had sailed, I actually got them. And I would never have guessed I would be able to purchase some of these cards, in 2021 probably. So I was pleasantly surprised. So yeah, I think it's been great. Well, describe yourself. Like if I consider myself a hybrid investor / collector, and then how you split that pie. I'm probably 75% collector, 25% investor, right? And then there's also another term out there called dealer. I don't necessarily. You would consider yourself a dealer. I've heard you refer to
dealer. Yep.
As a dealer, and explain to me the difference between me and you. The difference between a guy that sits in his office and buys and sells all over the world, and then a dealer like yourself. Obviously, you put a few more miles, in the air and in your car than I do. Is that the primary difference between what you and I do?
I mean, I think that's a big part of it. Although I'm definitely not one of the road warriors who's going to every show every week or every other week. My sweet spot for inventory and the cards I like, and which are not coincidentally the cards I always end up doing the best, whether it's selling or trading, or just the things that interest me. So it's more. I mean, I'll call it a high end niche, but it's more of a high end niche with the not necessarily the commodity based cards that you kind of see running on auction every week, every month, or whatever.
Yeah.
The stuff that I enjoy and the stuff that I do the best with is the stuff that's kind of in that gray area where maybe there aren't any direct comps of a card, so we kind of have to use our imagination and best available information to come up with what I think something might be worth. And honestly, again, I look to buy and sell stuff that I like. So if it's we'll probably get into this a little bit later too with the MJ autos, but like if it's an MJ auto that's got some visible damage, or like if the signature's starting to fade, stuff like that, like I unless it's 20 cents on the dollar, like it's not something that I really want to take in, because I know that it doesn't matter what you're selling. It's easier to sell something the less of a story you have to tell than if you're trying to sell something to somebody and you're like, well, here's these 5 points about the card. And 4 of the 5 points are why the card sucks or why there's something wrong with the card.
Yeah.
So
you shouldn't have to make excuses for your card. And the card should speak for itself. You shouldn't have to give me a soliloquy about why I want this card. I should be able to look at it and say, what the hell is that? That's awesome. I want that card. I see that on your Instagram page. You'll post stuff and I'll be like, I don't know anything about these autographed cards, but holy shit, that looks like it's important. Like I don't see that card very often, and I'm on Instagram a lot. That's something. So that's pretty cool, man. You don't ever have.
It's just the stuff that doesn't. I don't do. I try and avoid a bunch of inventory. I mean, I've got more boxes over here against my wall right now after a purchase that. If you told me I would have bought this a year ago, I probably would have just broken out into hives. So that's obviously a challenge and something new, but I work well with a lower number of inventory, lower inventory turn, but it's just nicer stuff. It's not the stuff you're going to see at every single show, and that's part of the reason I don't do the show circuit like a lot of guys. It's like the type of inventory I have is stuff I don't want people feeling like it's getting stale or I've seen that the past 5 shows in 2 months. It's like clearly there's something wrong with it or something wrong with the dealer, which it's true sometimes, but that's just kind of why I don't do the heavy show circuit. Both Burbank shows I'll do every year, the national, the show coming up in Indy in like 3 weeks. I hope to be there. and then a few more in between. But yeah, I'd say I'm about 6 shows a year, so once every couple months.
No Dallas? You ever been to Dallas?
Yeah, I do the Dallas once or twice a year, but again, the fact that there's 6 of those a year, and I just don't need to be going to. Yeah, I don't need to be going to that.
I thought there was 4, but I swear to God, I get a damn email. Like, it feels like I get an email every single month. Is there 6 now?
I think it's 6. I think they try and go bi-monthly.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on this year too, with like the first Fanatics show in Manhattan in August, and it's like August is pretty much just the 3 biggest shows of the year between the National and then the Fanatics show and then the Burbank show the week after. So it's just kind of like, you got to prioritize this stuff, and then if you really want to get weird, the Card Hobby show over in Macau, I went to that last year. It was a lot of fun, different experience, but yeah, there's just so many show options that, like we all know, that you got to pick and choose, especially for what I do. Do
you ever sell? And I'm asking you this as a dealer question because I just see you from a distance. I see you move stuff on Instagram often, regularly, right? Mm-hmm. You've got a reputation. You got a bazillion followers. By the way, I'm terrible at this. By the way, Justin, let me screen share this. Sorry, this is Justin.
Think you're smoking me now in terms of followers, aren't you?
I don't have any idea how many followers I have. That's how much I care.
Marketing branch of Cajun Cardboard. It's just me.
I don't care. That's how many followers I have.
I'm an RBO1. Yeah.
It could be 5,000 or 12,000. I would have, honest to God, I have no idea. But you got 11,600 people that are following you, and you don't have as big a mouth as me, so you must be doing something right. I see you move stuff on here all the time, and Justin is 610 Sports Cards. That's it. The number is 610 Sports Cards. And you want to tell people why you're 610 Sports Cards for those of the people that are listening to this that have never met you in person. Go ahead and tell them.
I am not from the greater Philadelphia area. It is not a zip code. My height is 6 feet 10 inches tall. So it worked. It was nice and clean. It was available, and off we went. So, But yeah, it's interesting scrolling through my page. It's like I don't really post, or at least make posts like I used to. The stories are definitely very active, but the posts themselves, I've just kind of gotten away from it. But the stories stay active.
Truly rare stuff here. It's truly special. Just like you said, like some of the rarest stuff in the hobby right there. I'm just kidding.
You like that sandwich between a bunch of Prism Gold. There couldn't be a better 3-card or 3-picture row of what my collection is not.
Here's your Polish twin.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's my brother from another mother. So I'm okay with that one. But
so tell me this. So you're a dealer, right? You hear people say, "I'm a dealer." Do you have any cards that are just flat out untouchable, like not for sale? This is my PC, my personal collection, never for sale. You don't bring them to shows. You don't put it on Instagram in your story sales. Do you have cards like that? We've never really had a chance to talk about this.
So there's one that I tell people if I'm ever selling this card, check on me, give me a call, send an ambulance, whatever. But it's at the bottom of my Instagram page. It's the Dean Smith Michael Jordan dual autograph, the one from Chronology. It's numbered to 25. It's the only dual autograph card that they ever had. Keep scrolling down. I think it was one of my first posts. Yeah.
Boom. No, that's wooden. Damn, no, wooden and Dean
There Smith. You go. There you go, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So it's the only dual that they ever made of those two that was inserted into packs. I do have a second dual with them, but MJ signed it at one of his camps, one of his flight schools, so it's aftermarket. Yep. But that's the only pack pull duel of those two. I mean, I was born in North Carolina, born and raised in North Carolina, born and raised at Tar Heel, went to school there. Went to the Final Four when we beat Duke, no big deal. So yeah, I'm a Carolina guy, and for me, that's I know. Listen, I always forget that you're the dark blue.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. But you buried the lead. You're like, I went to the Final Four. Well, fucking 50,000 people went to the Final Four. You're on a freaking basketball team, Justin. You may want to lead with that. You buried the lead story right there. You are actually played for North Carolina. There's not many people that come on my channel.
I played a year many moons ago, but yeah, it's fine, whatever. we can't go too much glory days on here, or else we just wouldn't talk about cards.
We wouldn't, right? Because I would tell you how great an NAIA point guard I was, and you would tell me how you could have played at my NAIA school and been an All-American. We can go through all that, right? So
coulda, woulda, shut up. But yeah, the duel's the one I don't bring it to shows. I leave it in the safe deposit box. It's my jam. But then you mentioned something else too, in terms of cards that I just don't bring to shows. I mean, so the triple autographs, I've always been a fan of multiplayer autographs, which is probably pretty obvious just from scrolling. But the on card triple autographs of Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Without derailing this too much, there's a very finite of those cards. Just given
give me a number. Guess how many?
107. So on card, I've written articles about this.
It's not a guess, by the way. That's the number.
So Jordan, Kobe, LeBron signed on card, just the three of them, not a fourth, not a different third, whatever. Just the three of those guys signed on the card. It's 107 total. And then if you add in stickers, there's two more subsets. One of them's a print run to 25. One of them's a print run to 10. They're both 07, 08. And so that's another 35. So just Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, the total on-card population is 107. And if you add in the stickers, it's 142.
Okay.
And I have three of the on cards. So I have the UD Black right there.
Yeah.
There's an Exquisite triple jersey auto that's numbered to 3. It's the only jersey auto that they ever had. There were 3 in 07, 08 Exquisite, and that's it right there. And then 3 in 08, 09. And then I have one from 04, 05 Trilogy too that's numbered to 10. These
are awesome.
So yeah, I don't even bring those. Well, that's not true. I might I'll bring the Trilogy to a show just because that's the cheapest of the options, relatively speaking. But the UD Black and the Exquisite, I don't even bother.
What do you think about? I'm going to go a little, and now we're just going to go scattershot here because I'm going to ask you questions that new autograph collectors might be asking. What are your thoughts on? Is there ever too many? Is 8 too many? 4 in the front, 4 in the back. I see that all the time.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Do booklets? Do you just shove them to the side? Not really my deal, kind of thing. Talk to me about those like big time autographs. I see it in baseball. Like I'll see somebody a breaker or something. I'll just catch a reel. I don't follow breakers, but I'll catch a reel. It'll be like a 16 autographs in a booklet where you unfold it. I'm like, does that stuff resonate? How do you feel about that stuff? Like generally speaking, in long term.
I mean, the ones that are just like the octos and the 10, 20s, like you said. I mean, I think there's some of them in the newer like NT products. It's like 30 signatures or something like that. It's like a 6-panel booklet, and
it's all stickers, right?
It's all stickers, and like it's cool. It makes for a nice chaser in these products, a cool case hit. But like, I mean, even with 4 signatures. So you showed the 0809 Ultimate number to 8. It's Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and KG. Mm-hmm. And people either just don't know or forget. KG was one of the 5 best players in the league in 0809.
For sure.
To have that to have KG's signature on there, you would think would do more or not hurt the value at least of that card. But that card is worth a fraction of what just the triples are worth because nobody wants a 4th player on there. And
I was going to ask you, Justin. We see the same thing with freaking Jordan and Carmelo versus just Jordan, or LeBron and Carmelo versus just LeBron, or sometimes TJ Ford will sneak his ass in there, right? Or Heinrich or whatever. Like it seems like. And again, we're throwing KG into the category with these other clowns who really don't care about their signature. But like KG was a freaking man. Like he was a monster. Yeah. He's probably a top 25, top 30 player that ever lived. And adding his signature onto the card you're looking at on your screen right now probably diminishes the value.
Yeah, it's significantly lower than any of the triples with just Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. So yeah, in terms of multiplayers, like there's some really cool immaculate ones like Shaq and Penny, and they're both in Orlando jerseys. Like there was a cool one I just saw that it was numbered to 10. They're both in Magic unis. It's on card. That's an awesome card. Like that's a cool card that I could, as long as they don't make a million of them going forward, that'll hold value because it's low numbered. It's a sharp looking card, on card signatures, and it's a pair that makes sense. But like just like you said, just throwing guys on a card for the sake of throwing them on a card without any rhyme or reason, I try and steer clear of that stuff again, unless it's just because I know it's too cheap and I can make a few bucks off of it.
All right, so let's dial it back. Let's start at the very beginning. Let's start at the very base foundation. You keep saying on-card auto, and I know what on-card auto means, even though I don't collect them. On-card auto versus sticker auto, and the direction that the hobby is heading. You don't touch. Do you touch sticker autos at all?
Yeah, I'm fine. Again, I'm fine with it if a value makes sense. That sure, and there's a lot of really. There's a lot, right, and there's a lot of really, really great sets that do have sticker autographs too. So it's not, it shouldn't be an instant disqualification of if you see a sticker auto, just push it aside, because I understand, and I mean, I'm trying to think of when sticker autos first popped up. I think it was in 03, 04, because Upper Deck used to use some of those really janky, they're like these silver Upper Deck stickers that they had. And I distinctly remember in 03, 04, the SP Top Prospect set, which was like a collegiate high school set. All of the Kobe autos from that set were stickers. They were not on cards. So was MJ too. Oh, actually, I think all of them were MJ, Kobe, and LeBron. Yeah. And that's the first instance I can remember of stickers. And the good thing about stickers is, they do allow players to sign easier than they might if they just had to ship them, like 1,000 cardboard cards in a box to get them to sign. So I can understand the convenience factor and the accessibility factor of signing in a Staples sheet of stickers versus trying to keep tabs on a whole bunch of cardboard cards, because if you ship them the actual cards too, you run the risk of do they get lost? Do they just not send them back? Sure. Giannis.
Do they damage them?
Yeah, do they damage them? Stuff like that. So yeah, the stickers can serve a purpose. It's just kind of the proliferation of stickers these days, and there's just so many autographs now that are stickers that the player signing his or her signature on the card now has most of those carry a premium over the stickers, which is good. I think they should. And to go further back, like that's always why I've enjoyed autograph cards is, I understand that they, there's 50,000 Jordan signatures or whatever the number is compared to 197, 98 PMG Reds, but MJ's probably never held one of those 100 PMG Reds in his hand, even if it was for a split second of someone sliding a card to him across the table and it's in front of him for 2 seconds at most. He's touched it, yeah. Like and it's just that kind of direct connection between athlete and card that I think I've always thought was
sure.
Cool.
All right, so tell me. Okay, so we know on card trumps sticker auto. There's probably no quantifiable, dependable, predictable, value ratio. Obviously, the sticker autos will be worth less. Is there any general consensus as to where the value goes between on card to sticker auto, or is there anything like that, like a modifier to get to the appropriate value of a card based on sticker or based on card?
Yeah, I think it's probably, and again, just not knowing off the top of my head, like just what some of the higher print run MJ on card autos sell for. I mean, you can probably be safe with a good rule of thumb is 2 to 1. A standard MJ, a nice standard MJ sticker auto versus a nice standard MJ on card auto. Just 1.5 to 2 to 1.
Yeah, okay.
Probably pretty safe.
Okay. So when I think of, and again, I'm coming at this from a complete novice perspective. I own one Jordan autograph card. There's Bulls playing day autographs. Mm-hmm. Well, we've acknowledged there's already sticker versus on card, but there's Bulls playing year autograph cards that were pack pulled. Then there's Wizards 2 playing years cards that were pack pulled. There's UNC autographs.
Yep.
Right. Then there's Jordan in a tracksuit, or Jordan in a suit, or Jordan playing golf autograph that whatever they're called now. I don't even know who's producing what now. I can't even keep up with all that crap. Ranking them, and then there's also the in-person, what do they call it, PSA DNA autograph where Jordan signed them. You mentioned Flight School, and I'm going to get you to explain Flight School in a second, but then you've got post, what did you call them? Post whatever signatures, post autographs, what do you call them? Where they sign them in person?
What, like aftermarket?
Aftermarket, yeah, aftermarket. Like a PSA DNA in-person autograph that was never intended to be on the card and wasn't pulled out of the pack that way, right? So we've got all these different categories of autographs. If you had to sort of rank them as far as what trumps what the highest demand is, what yields the highest value, I would go out on a limb and assume playing years, Bulls, on-card autographs trump everything, right? And then kind of take us from there as far as what people should be looking for. Because some people, Justin, obviously you're the creme de la creme. So, some people may not be able to jump into the triples. They may not be able to jump into Jordan on-card autographs. They may not have the budget to jump into just Bulls playing day autograph sticker or not, if they even did have stickers back then. I guess they didn't even have stickers back then for that. So where do they go, like in priority? What could they, if they wanted to get in at the lowest price point possible and then work their way up, how would you kind of establish that hierarchy, for lack of a better word, of Jordan autographs?
I knew you were going to make me do it.
That's
okay. So yeah, it's tough. So like the ones that you mentioned of him in the suits or playing golf or that stuff like that, that's like the Goodwin product or the Gowdy product, where since Upper Deck has lost all of their licensing with the NBA Players Association, that they have to make product somehow. So it's LeBron in a white tank top, or it's MJ, like you said, playing golf, or in a red tank top or something like that. Like that's probably your best option for getting something the cheapest, I would say. But again, the thing with that is it's cool to have an autograph, but like whenever I talk to people about who are looking to buy an MJ auto, and it's like, well, what do you think about these two? And there's a big difference between the two, just in terms of ignoring the value, like what the cards are. It's like, well, this one's a little bit cheaper, but this one's a UNC auto. I'm like, get the nice UNC auto as opposed to MJ, wearing a boxy suit from the mid '90s. Yeah. It's just like there's a connection to what we all know and love him for, and what he's famous for, and that's playing ball. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just never really a big fan of like the Goodwin and Gowdy stuff, and for the audience, a lot of that product is fairly recent, like 2021, 22, stuff like that, late teens. Yeah, that's when Upper Deck really kind of put the pedal to the metal with making that stuff. I would say the next level up would be his UNC autos. So what happened when Upper Deck lost their NBA license in 2009, when Panini got the exclusive, was this was before Panini had also cornered the market on college licensing. So Upper Deck hammered away with college products, still under the famous or the known brands. So Collegiate Exquisite or SP Authentic, SPX. They released something called All Time Greats, which was a cool high-end product. But it was MJ in different in UNC pictures, or it was Dr. J at UMass, or Magic at Michigan State, stuff like that. So you could still pull all LeBron, St. Vincent, St. Mary's. You could still pull a lot of big names of big player names, but just it was guys in their collegiate uniforms. Yeah. But a good UNC auto these days will probably start you in the high teens, right around 2,000 plus minus a little bit. And again, the vast majority of those are on card. A lot of them are numbered, and again, you can find really nice stuff. I think I have a UNC auto in there as well, just a personal favorite of mine from some of the pictures I sent over to you. But yeah, you can find a really, really sharp MJ signed it on card UNC auto for, again, just call it 2,000 plus minus. I think it was it might have been like 8 or 9 in terms of what I sent you. Oh, there's no 9. Huh, look at that. But anyway, yeah, there's cool UNC stuff. So that UNC, just in terms of your famous hierarchy, going smallest to largest, would be the next tier. The tier above that would be MJ Wizards autos. So
that's what I was curious about. The Wizards UNC, like how do people feel about that, generally speaking? You know what I mean?
A nice Wizards signature is probably going to call, and the bulk of, I'm trying to think about this too, but I feel like the bulk of MJ Wizard stuff is on card. He doesn't have many Wizard stickers, which is good. So the Wizard stuff is generally going to be around that $3,000 price point. Again, plus minus a little bit, maybe a little bit more. And the one you got pulled up right there is actually that's actually his only playing days patch autograph card that coincidentally is him in a Wizards jersey. That one's 0203 SP game used, and it's numbered to 50. Really nice card, and you'll find a lot of really, really cool Wizards patches in there too, where they took it from the nameplate of the Wizards stuff. But yeah, Wizards would be the next the next step up. And again, not only is it the next step up, but like you can find autographs from a lot of really quality upper deck products for MJ. So whether it's Ultimate Collection, SP Authentic, SPX, there was some cool UD glass stuff that they did during those years too. So a lot of really nice options with really nice products that again won't necessarily they'll require some work, but they won't necessarily break the bank.
Yeah.
Like an Exquisite Bulls, whatever would.
Yeah.
So that'd be the next step up. And then after that, you're getting into your Bulls stuff. So
what about post playing day Bulls, like 2007 upper deck Bulls Jordan trumps, like value wise, would be a higher value than the card we're looking at on the screen potentially. Like that's in a higher echelon.
It's definitely a step up, yeah. And the main difference there, it's at least with that kind of distinction, even though it's after his full career is over, it's not post Bulls round one playing days.
There's a good example right there, right?
Yeah, the fact that it's still MJ in a Bulls uniform is definitely going to trump the value of, again, for the most part, is going to trump the value of a Wizards autograph. So again, you have all kinds of options for the upper deck glory days, so to speak. So basically 03, 04 to 09, 10 with you get first year Exquisite in 03, 04, but you've still got Ultimate and SP Authentic, SPX, SP Game Used, and all that good stuff. Those are gonna range anywhere from again $3,500 for a sticker, maybe a little bit more, all the way up into the seven figures for the big boys, like we've seen right now with the MJ Ultimate Logo Man Auto 101 that's currently running on the old Golden 100. Yep, that's the one right there. I checked this morning. It's currently at 1.769 million with the buyer's premium with 20 days left.
So there's a chance this could be the record. This could be the highest price ever paid for a Jordan.
There seems to be a growing legion that think that this one will be the big boy, the highest seller ever.
Yeah, that's wild. That's exciting stuff.
We'll find out in 3 weeks. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, from the 03, 04 to 09, 10, those are your Bulls.
Okay.
Your Bulls sweet spot for post playing days, and then within that subsection, you're going to find, like I said, the values will vary dramatically depending on what the product is, if it's a sticker, if it's on card, if it's jersey auto, if it's patch auto, yada yada yada. But that's kind of the next step up, or your 03, 04 to 09, 10 Bulls autos.
And then playing year is clear.
Yeah, exactly. And then playing year, I think again, there's plenty of MJ autos in the 03, 04 to 09, 10 time frame that are worth more than the playing days autos, or just a few years after. But that 90s MJ autograph stuff, it's just so much rarer, just because so many of the subsets were like numbered to 23 or numbered to 50, and like MJ wouldn't have like Kobe, for example. He's got a lot of those sets where like he'll sign a base version of the card, and then he'll sign a gold version, so to speak, that's jersey numbered. MJ doesn't have base versions in so many of those sets. He's just the numbered to 23 version. So yeah, that would be kind of you're getting closer to the point of the pyramid, is that so that would be from 95, 96 through 90, 98, 99, 99, 2000. Yep.
Justin, card grade versus autograph grade. Talk to me about the relationship between those, because I live in a world where there's no autograph grade, so it's just card grade, and the disparity in value between a particular Scoring Kings PSA 10 and a Scoring Kings PSA 8 is like a bazillion X, right? Talk to me about that relationship, the pendulum and that the fulcrum, I should say, between those two, the card grade versus the auto grade, from your perspective and your preferences.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's something that I won't say struggle with, but I always am kind of, there's a disconnect, because basically when you add a signature to any kind of card, you're essentially adding a fifth condition point instead of the typical 4 that we know the company's grade on. So I see a lot. I'll see cards that'll sell, like you said, in a gem mint condition, whether it's BGS or PSA, and they'll sell for astronomical amounts of money. But then I'll look at the signature, and it's like it's an autograph card. The first thing I'm going to look at is the autograph, and the signature is just it doesn't have that, like, it doesn't have that pop. It doesn't have that bold, bright blue striking of the signature like it did, like it should have 20, 25 years ago when MJ or whomever signed it. So for me, if it's an either or, like, I will always take like a PSA 7 of an autograph card, but that signature is just as blue as the day it was when it was first signed. I will always take that over a PSA 9 or even a PSA 10 that could be potentially graded a 10 auto grade. But when you look at it, you can see that I call it washout. Yeah, I call it washout. That, like, the signature's starting to wash out for whatever reason. Maybe somebody kept it on their desk for 20 years and enjoyed it, but they kept it out in the open, and it got exposed to light, and the signature started to get a little bit dark. And I guess I should back up a little bit. So when I say a signature is starting to wash out, it basically, the signature will start to it'll almost start to look like the ink is black instead of blue. So 99% of these autographs were signed with a blue pen. So if you see a signature that is starting to look like it's not as blue, or like it's almost turning this blackish, brown is almost worst case scenario. But it's very clear when you just compare, two different signatures side by side. That's what I mean by washing out.
It's almost,
the thing with that is that once that ink starts to go, like, it's going to be like that forever. Again, it's
coming back.
Same with the card. Yeah, right. The same with the card condition too. And unless you know some of our enterprising card doctors in the hobby.
I was about to ask you. I don't think Kurt, our friend Kurt, is going to be able to retrace the autograph, right, undetected.
I haven't seen a signature carry yet product, but I'll definitely let everybody know when I do.
Well, there's one out there. It's called forgery.
Auto pen, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. If you're buying an autograph card, the autograph should be the star of the show. I'll never understand why people will pay. I can understand maybe a little premium for like a big time card grade versus a lesser card grade, but a better auto. But when I see these cards sell for just so much more money because the card itself is in a better condition, but the auto's not that great, it just blows my mind. I'm always auto versus card quality.
It goes back to the first thing we talked about. You shouldn't have to make excuses for the card. You shouldn't have, if your eye goes straight to the autograph and it's faded or it's changed colors or it's streaky, I just can't sleep with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be able to deal with that. Not that I collect them. So I guess what I was going to do is draw a parallel between that and hulking or greening or yellowing on refractors, Justin. Same kind of deal. I've seen 1993 finest refractor BGS 9.5s or PSA 10s. I would not purchase those cards. Like, that's got very historic, meaningful Jordan insert or parallel from the 90s. I would not purchase the card because it started to turn and it ain't turning back. And it's got to be the same thing with autographs. Is that a concern for you, like, going forward? Is that a reason maybe not to hang on to these bad boys for as long? Or do you think that there are certain autograph cards that are more prone to changing and discoloring and fading or washing out over time? I mean, I know you've been doing this forever, so you kind of can see all the different products. Is that something that worries you? Like, that, hey, maybe this looks great today, but maybe 4 years from now, no matter how dark my vault is, it could just fade.
Yeah, I try not to think about it. I'd like to think that I'm taking all the right precautions, and whenever I go to the safe deposit box and I open it up and I just kind of
please look
exactly. You're holding the breath. You're all puckered up in all the wrong places, and But I do think that similar to refractors that and it's unfortunate too, because you can't maybe enjoy autograph cards as much as you could a Noise Boys or a Scoring Kings or something like that. You can't just put it out on the desk and have it there just for everyday use, so to speak. It does suck that a lot of these I just keep in a dark place, and I maybe look at them, I don't know, once every couple months, something like that, once a month or whatever it might be. But I do think that with, again, just like a bunch of the silica, the desiccant packets, I keep everything in like double Ziploc bags. I probably put at least a dozen of those moisture eaters in there, and just keep them in a dark, temperate place. So far, I've got I think the oldest autograph card I have is one of the 96, 97 SPX, one of the ones that I sent you, the die cut one. I've got one of those, and it was signed almost 20 years ago now, and it's still bold and blue like it was signed yesterday. So you just got to take care of this stuff. It's no different than anything else.
Right here.
That one, yeah. So I've wrong one. Yeah, there you go. So I've got one of those, and again, it just keep it in the bank vault and in Ziploc bags and in the little fireproof, waterproof bags that I got, and I feel like I'm doing the right thing. But again, like I said, it's always a bit of a hold your breath whenever we go check on those things to make sure that nothing's happened.
I've put off buying a 96 chrome refractor, Jordan. I mean, it's on my list. It's a card I want one day. And you can obviously tell perfect color and terrible color now, but it's like, if you pay that premium, and it's a premium for perfect color right now for a 96 chrome refractor, there's no guarantee in 8 years. I mean, who knows, man? It may not look like that 8 years from now, and there goes your premium that you paid.
Yeah, and I would say too, like I have one of my triples, the Trilogy one. It's an acetate card. And I would say of all the cards, the acetate ones probably scare me the most.
Yeah.
Just because, like, again, with proper storage, I'm fairly certain they're fine. But like when you see a bad acetate card, and you know this too from like the Dunkin' Go Nuts, when you see an acetate card gone bad, you're like,
it's orange parallel.
It's like, holy hell, this thing looks horrible. And there are some trilogies from that same set. Like the one I have, that you see them and they are just they are both yellow, and the signatures are 5% of what they used to be. So again, it's definitely from extended exposure to conditions that aren't in the best interest of long-term growth or condition preservation for the card. But yeah, you see stuff like that, it's just like, woof, that's brutal.
Tell me about post-market stuff. Let's talk. Let's talk generally speaking. Somebody comes up to your booth in a couple months in Cleveland, and they have a 1988 Fleer Jordan base card, autograph. It's in a PSA slab. It's PSA 8 and 9 for the autograph. Is that something you look at? Is there a price for everything, or do you say it's not really my deal? It's not my joint. I'm good. Talk to me kind of about the post-market autograph stuff, and then you can kind of work your way into the flight school, which we hear about flight school autographs all the time. So talk through all that stuff with us.
It's a good question. It's in a lot. This also kind of extends to another segment of autograph collecting. They're called buybacks. So what a lot of these companies did is, especially in the late 90s and early 2000s, Upper Deck would take cards from sets that they had produced in prior years, and they would get MJ or Kobe or someone like that to sign them. So for example, they would take, 95, 96 SP. They would take a card like that you would recognize just as a regular card, and they'd give them to MJ and be like, sign 13 of these. And so they would be hand numbered to 13. They would come with all the correct paperwork, matching stickers, all that good stuff. They'd plop them in the products. Like I've never been a big fan of the aftermarket stuff. I just like even it is technically pack pulled, but I just like the product that's part of the product in a given year, and not necessarily pulling stuff from the past into the new. But with that being said, one of the things that's gone absolutely gangbusters over the past 6, 8, 12 months are signed MJ Star rookie cards. And obviously MJ, you weren't able to pull a signed Star MJ rookie auto out of a pack of Star back in 84, 85, whenever that was.
And there's no buyback Star.
And there's no buybacks on those. Nope. So those have grown in significant popularity because to tie this into the flight school thing. So MJ's flight school used to be, it was a basketball camp that he would do. I think flight school was for kids, but they also had like an adult, like fantasy camp type thing as well under the flight school brand. And what smart people did is they would bring, and the thing was, you would pay a boatload of money to go to this thing, but MJ would sign something for you. He would sign, I think it was 2 things. It was 2 or 3 things for every camper at first, and then he scaled it back to 1. And I can't remember where it ended up at, but basically people would, the smart ones out there, the smart collectors would take star rookie cards or Fleer or 86, 87 Fleers and be like, sign these. And MJ put the kibosh on 86, 87 Fleers a while ago, but he would still continue to sign the 84, 85s. So that's where a lot of those 84, 85 star autos come from, are the basketball camps that MJ would hold. So it's just a long-winded way of saying that, you know, I'm always open to aftermarket cards, aftermarket signed cards, if the value makes sense. But for me, I'm not willing to pay, you know, I'm not willing to pay what it would cost to buy a nice 84, 85 signed star MJ rookie. I would much rather put that towards something that, again, from that 03, 04 to 09, 10, the glory days period, because that's the stuff I know. Yeah. And there's just so much volatility too, with a lot of those star signatures or whatever the signature might be, because MJ's got certain styles of signatures that, you know, are him signing like his early years. And then there's a lot of work that's been done to kind of see the evolution of his signature to where it ended up, because by 2000, pretty much you could tell when MJ signed something. But there's a lot of variance, like basically starting going all the way back to college versus his first years in the NBA to say that, you know, this is an 84, 85 star, and based on the signature style, like MJ signed this maybe in the 80s, which is cool, and that should be worth more. But like I'm not willing to put a premium into something like that just because I don't know that history that well, and it doesn't make sense for me.
I never thought to ask this question, and you may or may not know. When you see an autograph card with bright, bold blue ink, and then, you know, a quarter inch to the, you know, down and to the left, there's a hand serial numbered, you know, 3 out of 23. Is that MJ or is that somebody at Upper Deck?
It's Upper Deck.
I figured it was, but
shout out to the MJ group chat for the hand numbered versus stamp serial number debate.
Well, let's get your input on that while we're at it.
I'm team hand numbered all the way.
Let's go. All right.
I love hand numbered cards, and I think that I understand it, especially. So all right. So what we're talking about is, back in the day, an Upper Deck employee used to hand number autograph cards or some certain serial numbered cards that you could pull from a pack. So it would just be somebody in Upper Deck marketing just, you know, cranking away 1 of 23, 2 of 23, so on and so forth. Later on, Upper Deck started, it was a machining process. It was a manufacturing process where everything was stamped. So I really like the human element in the hand numbering. The hand numbering is also a kind of a useful tool, and this is really getting into the weeds, but it's a really useful tool for being able to recognize when something was likely a pack pulled hand numbered copy versus something if you've got 10 serial numbers and all 10 serial numbers, the handwriting looks the same. And I'm not saying I'm a handwriting expert, but then you have copy number 11 and either the serial number's in the wrong place or like the style of numbering is completely different. You know, it throws up some red flags. And again, this is really inside baseball type stuff that you would need to know. But it is a very useful piece of the puzzle that you can use to be like, if you're going to make that significant of an investment, to say that, you know, something looks off with this hand numbering. And again, it's MJ's signature could look fine. It's just maybe somehow one of them got out the door where MJ had already signed it, but it had yet to go through the numbering process in house. So basically, that's a lot of words to say that hand numbering can be a very, very additional tool in trying to figure out whether one of these cards that's going to cost a lot of money, likely, checks all the boxes that you need to check before making that expense. So yeah, I'm always hand numbered.
I get maybe at least one message a week from somebody who watches the channel or follows me on Instagram asking me, hey, I watched your video. I want to start buying Jordan cards. What card should I buy first? Right. And, you know, I never answer those people. I never tell people what to buy. I tell too many people who will listen what I'm buying or what I have bought. I share everything, what I buy and sell, but I don't tell people what to buy. If somebody in the comments was going to ask you, Justin, I'm interested, I'm intrigued, your beard is fascinating, you're very tall, give me an idea of how I can get into the Jordan market. Where would I start? Like if I was like, you know what, I am going to start collecting autographs. I like the look of some of these kind of cards. I know, and invariably your first response is going to be buy what you think looks good, right? But like, how do we give some advice to the unwary who have no experience whatsoever? How do you even dip your toes in the water and get into it in the first place? How do we take that little baby step and dip our toes in the water? What advice would you give a brand new autograph seeker?
So my thing, I think step one would be just know your budget, know what you're working with, because the thing with MJ autos is, like we discussed earlier, there's 100 PMG Reds from 97, 98. You know what you're working with those, but there's tens of thousands of cards that Michael Jordan has signed during the course of his lifetime. So when you go on eBay and you look up Michael Jordan auto, you're going to get hit with thousands and thousands of search results. And you might be getting into the weeds or going down a path on stuff that, you know, might be above your budget, or it might be below your budget too. Like if your budget's $5,000, that could conceivably get you 2 or 3 nice MJ UNC autograph cards. So I would say start with trying to figure out what your budget is, so you can set some guardrails. Because you'll just get lost and be like, oh, I love this, but I can't afford it. And you just get, you know, there's just so many rabbit holes to fall down with this stuff. So I would say start with what's your budget. I would say if your budget is teetering between, you know what you can get to, but if you maybe have some additional inventory that you can sell, like you've got your Prism Anthony Richardson silver rookies that you're making a mint on right now, and it's the off season and people are going to start buying that stuff again like gangbusters. Cash out on that stuff and maybe give yourself a little bit more wiggle room to play, like maybe the step from an MJ UNC to an MJ Wizards, because I do think that his NBA autograph cards will hold value better, so to speak, in the long run, than a college autograph. So yeah, that would be kind of the first step, is just knowing your budget. And then step number 2 is just, oh my God. I mean, from there, it's just kind of within that budget, what can you do? And I think that'll kind of help you refine the budget question too, is that, okay, if I have X amount of money to spend, that means I can get 10 different options in a sticker auto, but maybe 2 in an on-card auto. And then from there, if you're cool with that, then that's great. You can work with those 10 sticker options. Yeah. But if you really want that on-card auto, then again, maybe it's doing a little bit more consolidating to be able to get there. And this isn't. I know this kind of sounds like, oh, just keep stretching your budget for whatever you want. It's not stretching the budget, so to speak. It's just kind of the process that we all go through of refining the collection, figuring out. It's the daily exercise of, what do I have? What can go out the door versus what can stay? That's the exact same process that you got to go through here too. So I would say that whenever somebody asks what MJ auto should I buy, just from a purely aesthetic, what the year was, what the set means, I am always partial to, and it's the same autograph that the Ultimate Logo Man's selling right now. But I just love the 03, 04 Ultimate Collection. I think it's called Ultimate Signatures on-card autographs. It's LeBron's rookie year.
How many years they overlap, Ultimate Collection and Exquisite? Were they both around?
It was
03, 04.
It was the entirety of the Glory Days section there. So they made. Did they make? 09. There was no 2009-10 Ultimate. Ultimate stopped for Upper Deck in 08-09. So it would have been 03, 04, 04, 05. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it would have been a 6-year overlap with both Ultimate and Exquisite.
Okay, I wasn't in the hobby then, so I know the Exquisite years, but Ultimate Collection, when I was in the hobby, I got out of the hobby in 04, the second time. And Ultimate Collection was the top dog. That was the top dog. That was the creme de la creme. It was like, I can't believe what you just told me the price of that box was. And I lost, I got out of the hobby, so I wasn't sure how long Ultimate Collection and Exquisite existed, coexisted. So
so it's that 6 year.
Is that the next tier? Exquisite, Ultimate Collection, is that the next tier? Is that fair to say, generally speaking, or no?
Yeah, I think that's fair. If you had to rank Upper Deck products, yeah, I would put Ultimate at number 2. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. But it's just that one, it's a horizontal design. It's a huge MJ signature because he's got plenty of room to stretch the signature. It's kind of a whitish card. I mean, admittedly, it may or may not have been kind of the precursor to a lot of the flawless designs because it's just a really clean white design, but a cool picture of MJ in the uniform, and they're very accommodating, so to speak, for just a big blue bold signature. And that's always my go-to.
Is there a consensus amongst autograph collectors, not just Jordan autograph collectors, but generally speaking, guys who kind of dabble in the autograph world, between vertical versus horizontal? Is there a preference, or is it just hit or miss? It just depends on who you ask.
It's interesting. I know, and I think Carvin's talked about this too, that in 07-08 was the only year that they had that the rookie patch autos were horizontal, and Carvin was furious because he always wanted the RPAs to be vertical, just because that presents better for one reason or another. I think for the solo autographs, it doesn't really matter as much, and I like the horizontal ones for solo signatures. Kobe's the same way too. If Kobe has a horizontal card to sign, he usually signs a giant signature, as opposed to fitting it on whatever the space is for horizontal or for vertical. So yeah, for single signatures, I always kind of prefer the horizontal layout if they sign horizontally, because you just get that huge signature across the top or bottom of the card.
All right, let's talk through. These are some pictures you sent, and each card tells a story. And there's a reason you picked these cards to shoot to me, and you own all of them.
Yep.
No,
oh, we do. God, don't I wish? I tried.
Not yet. You're supposed to say not yet. I don't.
I tried to avoid, but number one right there. That ain't happening.
Yeah, no, I know. And look, I don't know autographs, but I know this is very relevant. Talk to me about this card. It checks a lot of the boxes. Ultra modern collectors, people that are new to the channel that don't, necessarily collect 90s stuff and don't listen to me talk, might look at this and say 8-8, keep it. No thanks. I'm looking for PSA 10s. Tell me about this card, why it's relevant. It is the first Jordan jersey patch auto, right, in the world.
Yep,
There's
correct.
a non-numbered version of this too, is there not, or am I crazy?
So there is, it's 97-98 Upper Deck, and this was the first product, the first year that they ever made jersey cards. So the just jersey version of this card it's not numbered, and I think in good condition these days, like maybe PSA 8-ish. Oh God, I don't want to show my rear end too much, but I think they're around 20 to 25K now.
Big card, yes.
So within this series, they released the 23 hand-numbered MJ autos, and that is the jerseys in both the jersey set and the jersey auto set is pulled from his, I think it was the 92 All-Star game in Charlotte. So that is from a game-worn All-Star jersey. And the going rate for that card these days, the one on screen right now, is probably $1.5 million plus minus a little bit.
I was not going to go there. Okay, didn't know that. I knew it was big. I didn't have any idea it was that big. So there's only 23 97 Upper Deck game jersey autos. Do all of them have multicolored like set patches like this, or jerseys?
No, they do not. So there are some that are all white. There are some that have the crazy kind of red and white from around the numbering in there from the 23 on his jersey.
Almost like it looks fake. Like when I saw that, I was like, too good to be true. Too good to be true.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also some that are I think 4 color or almost 5 or 6 color, just the different colors of blue, because they get some of the red and the blue in there. So there's some wild ones in there, but I mean that's basically the godfather of kind of autograph relic cards, that one right there, because it's the first,
not just the first, but
it's
also
the first one ever made. Yeah,
damn near the most valuable. Close, right? We're about to see one. Talk to me about this one.
Yeah, so that's 96-97 SPX. It's called the NNO, no number on. I think it just goes by NNO, but it means no number on because it's not numbered on the back. This is not a serial numbered card. This is MJ's first Bulls pack pulled autograph that was available. This was a redemption. So the redemption came out of a pack, and this was the first time you could get an MJ Bulls auto from a pack, even though it was a redemption. So I would say I've done some research on these just based on the serial numbers, the upper deck authenticated stickers on the back, and I would say there's probably 100-ish of these, maybe a population of 125. And the thing with these is that a lot of this particular SPX card, because you could pull this SPX card, just a hologram card, straight out of a pack without a signature. A lot of these have been signed by MJ in person through the years. Some of those aftermarket autos we've talked about. But the original pack pulled copies, if you flip them over, if you see an upper deck certificate of authenticity, the little hologram on the back with the serial number, if it starts with BAD or BAC, it is very likely the pack pulled version.
Okay.
There's some that starts with BAF or BAG or whatever. Those are not pack pulled versions. Those are ones that he would have signed. He would have signed at a camp or something. So yeah, that's the OG pack pulled MJ auto. And then this is the 97 SPX Force. So this was a separate product than the SPX. I got
this card without the autograph. I'm very happy.
There you go. Yeah. So this. Yeah. I think this was a separate product than the SPX we just talked about, but so this was the first pack pulled autograph. You could pull the autograph straight out of the pack.
Okay.
So that no redemption on this one. This one
black ink, or is this blue? Is this blue ink that's turned black, or is this black ink?
No, good question. So it's blue ink. The problem is just that since it was signed on kind of that darker background, that red card. It can be harder. It can be harder to see the blue in person, but. That's a big boy. I have owned one of these. I think I sold it last year. But yeah, the hand numbering to 100 on card. A lot of these are jacked up because they've got however many corners that is. I can't count as compared to normal corners. So these can be tough to find in better condition. A PSA 810 on that for the autograph version that's a big grade.
Big boy. Off topic question that I just thought about, since you deal with super high end and you deal with a relatively low volume of inventory of cards, when's the last time you sold a Jordan autograph card for a loss?
For a loss? Oh boy. Doesn't happen that often. I mean, if it's a loss, it's maybe just I got a little too big for my britches. It's not like some of the losses I could show you for Kobe Prism Golds, for example.
Right. Well, isn't it nice to be in that niche?
I bought that falling knife in May of 2022 or whatever it is. And
we all did something.
Yes. Oh boy.
Let me tell you, some of the most savvy people in the world that I respect and admire the most got caught in the same kind of bullshit that I did in the year 2020 or 2021.
I know it happened to us all, but yeah, the MJ stuff is. I definitely have some MJs where I could have done a lot better had my timing been fine. Yeah. But in terms of selling them for an actual loss, like knock on wood, but we're doing okay there.
His his 90s inserts and parallels, the stuff that I collect, especially on the higher grades, is doing really well right now. Right, we went through kind of a reset, a recalculation, and we're getting back to slow and steady up. Sometimes not slow, but up and to the right looking graphs. Same thing for autographs. They're doing pretty well right now. You would say, generally speaking, on the uptick to some extent for autographs primarily.
Yeah, I think so too, and it's a similar situation with the big time inserts as well. But we're finally slowing down with the auction house inventory that's cranking out every month or every 2 months. You see a PWCC premiere and it's 75 cards. You see a Golden Elite and it's a lot more cards, but in the old Golden Elite framework, it's significantly lower than what it used to be in terms of those 5-figure and up cards, and it's not the same stuff rotating every month or two. So just like it's helped the insert market kind of find its footing and stability, it's similar with autographs too. Yeah. So we're finally starting to see this stuff sell much more infrequently than we used to, and that's needed. We all need that.
Yeah. No, there's no question that if you're a collector and you're in the hobby for the long haul, you want to see these cards find their way into the hands of the take it to the grave types. Not that I'm not necessarily a take it to the grave type, but I'm gonna hold it for a bit. We've talked about that one, so we'll skip that one. This one we talked about a little bit. In your expert opinion, this is going to be, is this the greatest Michael Jordan autograph card in the world?
So he has, I think I'm right on this. He only has, and this is solo logo man autos.
Yeah.
So he has 3, and they are all Ultimate Collection. So he has 0304 number the 101, 0405 a 101, and 0506 101. So he's only got 3 options. He's got multiplayer logo man autos with LeBron and Kobe and Exquisite and some other variations, stuff like that. But in terms of solo MJs, this is one of 3. It's the first one, and it's the biggest one. So I don't know, man. I thought
ahead of the game jersey, number 23, hand serial numbered, first game jersey ahead of it.
I think this is going to.
123rd.
I mean, it almost already is. I think that the most expensive game jersey auto sold for 2.2 at the peak, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I mean, I initially thought this was going to be around 2, and we're one more bid away from that, or a couple more bids away from it being around 2. So
yeah,
I really don't even know what's going to happen with that.
What if I gave you the option, this one or one of the game jersey autos?
I'd rather have that. I'd rather have the logo, man. Yeah, I mean, because again, 0304 for a modern collector, so to speak. Well, definitely not modern, since the young kids call my shit vintage now.
They tell me that too.
Yours is really vintage for them, but mine's that kind of boomer vintage. Yours is, you may as well be 90 to them, the stuff you collect.
That's right.
But no, just 0304 is the most important year of basketball product ever made. So that's my jam. That would be for me.
2005 Upper Deck Trilogy signature swatch.
I just picked this one because this was pretty cool. That Trilogy. So they got their hands on one of his. I'm not going to be able to remember that, maybe 97 All-Star game when it was in Phoenix. But they got their hands on his game-worn Phoenix All-Star jersey, and similar to what they did for the game jersey auto stuff, they did jersey cards with the All-Star jersey. You'll see a lot of teal in Trilogy. They did patches from the All-Star jersey, and then they did this set that was jersey autos, and there's a patch auto parallel number to 10 too. And it's just kind of a cool thing that they did during the mid 2000s to kind of shake things up. Trilogy was a weird kind of middle tierish, maybe middle upper tierish product that got thrown out there along with a bunch of other stuff. But I've always really liked this one. I just really like the big swatch of the teal All-Star jersey, and I'm pretty sure it says that he wore in an All-Star game on the back of the card too.
I like the stark contrast between the bright blue and the red.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, man. Personally, that's just me. I've seen these, and I've every time I see one of these things when I do a Premier auction or a PWCC auction recap, I talk about how cool these chronologies are, because this is obviously clearly on card because you can see the fabric like through the actual autograph. This is an 07. So these were 2 examples of those Bulls on card autograph cards, but post playing year cards. So this is this is just awesome. All those every chronology is dark black like this, right? All black.
Yeah,
I've seen the birds and the magic.
I could do 30 minutes just on the chronology set in general. So just briefly, what this set was, it's called Timeless Memories. And this might look familiar to some of the modern guy or the Panini era guys, because Panini just 100% ripped this off for their timeless moments.
Yes,
autograph, which is fine.
We should have called it Timeless Memoirs.
I know, right? But the whole point of this set was to try and capture players and important iconic images. So, for example, there's two versions of MJ. There's the dunk contest one, and then there's a picture of him from his 63-point game against the Celtics. And there's, for both MJ, there's different variations that he signed. Like, for example, the dunk contest, that one's numbered to 99. The first 90 he signed in blue ink, but the last 10 he signed with a silver ink.
I was going to ask you because I've seen it. Yeah. I've seen it. It's the silver Sharpie, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then for a lot of the Legends guys, like, for example, they have really, really old school guys, but one of the really cool ones is Pat Riley. So Pat Riley has a version that's, again, numbered to 99, but I think the first 10 all have inscriptions for the Legends. And I think Pat Riley has, I've seen 5 different unique inscriptions that he signed on that card. So, like, Pat Riley always, if you see a Pat Riley inscribed one and it's like $100, buy it, because those sell for gangbuster money, because there's a lot of guys that are working on this set of every possible inscription, every variation, and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just it's just so deep and so much fun to see all the different stuff that that guys did when they were signing these. So for me, this is, if you had to, again, I know you like ranking stuff.
Yeah.
But I would say this is a top 5, just the base dunk contest auto like you've got on screen. I would say this is a top 5 favorite MJ for me from the Glory Day era.
That's big time. That's big time.
It's cool.
Now,
so yeah, I had to throw something exquisite in here, and
I want to let you. We really listen. Justin, we should really do another whole video just on Exquisite, and so you can make some sense of that. I've talked to you about doing a project on that, and I think I'll just tell you this, and this is not a spoiler alert, and I'm not in the middle of it, but if I was going to dip my toes into the waters, I would probably start with Exquisite stuff and try to digest it, try to understand it, try to study it, listen to a lot of stuff, talk to guys like you, and that would probably be my pathway into collecting Jordan autographs or autographs in general. Talk about the importance of the Exquisite product. We got about 5 minutes left, so just do what you can with the Exquisite. This will be the last one we talk about. This is obviously the limited logos, but there's emblems of endorsement and number pieces and some other stuff that I hear, just bits and pieces of. Talk me through all that stuff.
Yeah, so Exquisite was just kind of the bridge between old and new collecting. So Exquisite was the OG modern era, ultra high end hobby offering, sports card offering. So when Exquisite came out, it was $550 a pack, I think MSRP. A case was about $2,200. But with Exquisite, everything was signed on card. I believe everything
was numbered.
Everything was numbered. A lot of it was game. All the vet stuff was game used. Certain rookie stuff is game used. Certain rookie stuff is not game used. But it was just billed as being the best of the best. And at that time, that price point, I think that price point was at least double Ultimate to bring it back to Ultimate, if not 3x what it would have cost to buy a pack of Ultimate.
Wow.
And again, buoyed by the popularity of LeBron as a rookie, and then just so many new guys and veterans as well. It set the stage for Flawless, for Opulence, for just all these modern era Panini products that are so expensive right off the rip. Like Upper Deck did it first with Exquisite. So 0304 was the first year of Exquisite, and one of the subsets within Exquisite was called limited logos. And the whole point of limited logos is just to be a giant piece of a game worn patch, and that's also autographed. So this is 06, 07 Exquisite limited logos. I really like this one. I've always loved this one just because that patch is the perfectly centered piece of the 2 from 23 in MJ's jersey. So you can almost see the bottom right corner of the top of the 2 right there, and then you can see where the 2 would cut across right there. I just always love the symmetry with the way that patch lines up perfectly within the window. MJ's signature is perfect. It's a 10 auto on the back. I think I checked that.
I was going to ask you that was going to be my next question, is like, why not grade the auto? Because I don't know anything about autos, but damn, that looks really good to me. But this must be an old Beckett slab where they put the
so it's on the back. Yeah. So I had to grab one Exquisite card. I could have grabbed 100 and thrown them all in here, but the limited logos in terms of patch auto subsets across any product in a year is arguably the most popular.
Well, let's save all the rest of the Exquisite collection stuff, because I want to do something. We'll give you some breathing room. Maybe after the National, we'll get you back on here. We'll talk just about Exquisite, and after I've actually learned more about it. Tell me before you leave, just PSA and BGS. Tell me where you are on the type of stuff that you buy and sell. Like, where do you? I'm not asking you to pick and choose. I don't pick and choose. I collect both of them. For autograph collectors, is there a right or wrong? Is there a preferred or a not preferred, or is it just you get what you can take? Do you ever crack and resub from one to the other, or anything like that?
I don't. I've had to start play the grading game a little bit, just with the collection that I purchased.
We talked about that. Yeah.
I know, right? Unfortunately, I do not have the means to just roll the dice on all of the more expensive cards in that lot and pay the PSA charges that would have been required to grade that stuff right off the rip.
Yeah.
Because the up charges are significant, as you know, and not even the up charges, just the different pricing tiers depending on the declared value.
Sure.
So for me personally, I've gone the BGS route for just kind of an initial review of a bunch of that stuff. Having said that, I've gotten grades back, and I know some things that did well and some things that I'm gonna probably take my chances on with PSA at some point. But for the higher end stuff, I can't afford to push it all through PSA.
Yeah.
But then on the lower end side too, it's like I just pushed through a bunch of sub 500 stuff for a PSA order with clay cards. So I guess I don't know if that really answers the question, but for me personally, like it's no different than the inserts. Like if this MJ limited logos in a PSA 910 versus a BGS 910, this exact card, I mean, it would be at least double what the BGS 910
That's
is.
what. Do you remember?
And especially PSA is especially tough on Exquisite stuff because it's that
sure.
thicker card stock.
Sure.
So when you can see a PSA 810 of just like an MJ base auto, or maybe an Exquisite base auto number to 25 or whatever, and it'll outsell a BGS 910. So it's just it's similar to PSA's the king in every corner.
It's similar to PMG Reds.
Autographs, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
The world that I lived in, it was a 1.5 to 2 ratio. Like a PSA, PSA 6 is a BGS 8 or a BGS 8.5. A PSA 7 is a BGS 9. Remember we went through that phase of the hobby where or at least when I came back in around 2016, I was pretty much taught, and the talking heads would say, if it's a thick card, grade it with BGS. If it's a thin, shiny chromium card, grade it with PSA. That was the rules, right? Has that changed at all from an autograph collector or an autograph dealer's perspective? Let's say you had this card in hand. Where would you go? Let's say you had it raw. I'm sorry. Let's say you had this exact card raw. You had number 14 out of 50, and it's raw. And you want to grade it. You want to authenticate it. You want to put a grade on it. You want to enhance the value of it. Where are you going, BGS or PSA?
I mean, I'm going to PSA or BGS, excuse me, but that's just because I don't want to pay $1,500 or whatever it would cost for PSA to review that. Like I understand the significance of the upside if you're going just making that decision for any card, but I wouldn't be able to justify again right from the jump going PSA. Now
it's a risk reward issue, right? I mean,
it's all risk reward. Now if it came back from BGS and it was a 910 and it's like, does this have a good chance at maybe like an 8.5 PSA? I'd roll the dice, but I'd need some initial information to be able to make that PSA decision after the fact. And I guess to go back even further, you're talking about the chromium versus whatever debate. I mean, back in the day when I first started doing this, early mid 2000s, every single autograph card went to BGS because BGS had the autograph grading component. So every single modern autograph card would go to BGS, and BGS autos would outsell PSA.
Yep. Well,
and every non-autograph card was PSA, which is just nuts in retrospect.
BGS 9.5, Jordan 86 Fleers used to outsell PSA 10s, and people don't realize that. They think it's always been this way. It's not always been this way. People were cracking PSA 10s to try to get BGS 9.5s, and it's funny how much the hobby changes. It's interesting indeed. Well, we're at about an hour and 20, which is more of your time than I intended to seal, but I appreciate you coming on, man. It's always I got to do a better job of talking about stuff that I don't know about and don't necessarily have a lot of experience in. And so you are absolutely perfect guest to come on the show and chat about that. Are you going to be okay to come on the channel? Maybe we'll do a roundtable Cleveland National to kind of talk through some of that stuff. I know you're going to get asked to come on a bunch of shows for that. You come on here. Maybe we'll get Frankie. Maybe we can pay Chris McGill his appearance fee. He's like the Tiger Woods of the hobby. You got to pay him an appearance fee to come on. You came on for free.
I'm more than happy to. I mean, I think at this point it's almost a stigma to be known as the guy who goes on and talks about the national and trying to give out practical advice, and then I find out other national prep podcasts, social media is bashing.
You're wrong.
Bring it. Well, I know it's like I'm gonna say bring a charger because some people just forget and then like, oh,
Well,
what they
no,
say is
that-
bring a charger and drink water. It's like, all right, man, get bent.
I tell you what, when you turn 50, the one advice I have is bring your reading glasses and bring an extra pair because you don't want to lose that. You're trying to look up values and get deals done, and I can't see a damn thing. So as I get older, the list of things I need to bring is much greater. And reading glasses are at the top of the list. Cool. Well, I will get you back on. I truly appreciate your time, man. Thanks, and stay in touch with me. Hopefully, you're grinding through that collection. Things are going well. I'm still here waiting, right? I'm waiting for you to tell me when the
relax. It's a process. Relax. You should know this better than anybody. It's a process.
I do know this. I just came to the end of my journey. You're right in the middle of your journey. I am literally about to record the last grade reveal video from that cross-country collection. So I'm very excited to put that to bed and start doing some more organic stuff like this, some fun stuff. So as always, Justin, thanks for coming on. Guys, just a reminder, let me screen share again real quick here. Guys, go follow. He's trying to keep up with me. I don't know why. It's a losing endeavor, but Justin's he's got 11,600 people that follow him on Instagram, and there's a reason. He's just got some really badass shit on there, and he's a wealth of knowledge, not just when it comes to autograph, but about collecting generally speaking. And he's somebody that I consider one of the oracles of the hobby, a person that I lean on oftentimes for advice. Not just on Jordan, but just general stuff as well. So 610 Sports Cards on Instagram. Justin, anything else?
No, sir. Yeah, the main thing, and I always leave off with this, but if anybody ever has questions about anything autograph related or otherwise, just let me know.
Awesome.
I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help where I can. I'd rather you feel like you're comfortable making these decisions because we kind of tiptoed around it, but unfortunately there are no cheap Jordan autographs. So even if your budget is a budget to buy the cheapest Jordan autograph, it's still a lot of money. So yeah, just whatever people need, I'll help where I can.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. All right. We're going to get you back on before the National, and then I look forward to seeing you up there in Cleveland.
I know, man. Can't wait. Hard to believe it's only a couple months from now. So really doing it.
All right, guys. I will let you go. Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Justin, have a good one. Peace.
Thanks, Brian.